So good morning, everyone. I want to get this panel started right away so we have as much time as possible to hear from our wonderful panelists. We have Patricia Regier, who is a learning experience designer and is passionate about online meetings and education that sparks enthusiasm and results. She is a facilitator, content creator, and production partner. And Patricia gets excited about multimedia tools that can reach and engage the variety of learning types in your audience or a team.
And I've been so impressed with how people have embraced the new learning curves that they were forced into, how creative people have been. It's just been really inspiring.
It's really important to me.
Yeah. And with that vulnerability, I think because leaders have been put in the new context, you're trying things for the first time. So even if you've practiced and you want to be professional, things aren't always going to go as planned. And there's learning in that, there's growing in that, and there is vulnerability. But if you're afraid to try new things, even if it might not go, perfectly, I think through that process, you learn and grow so much more, and you also connect that much more as well.
Or how do you deal when things don't work out as planned?
Yeah, and that happens all the time. Technology is constantly changing. There's always something more to learn and try for the first time. So when it doesn't work out, I've gone through a lot of that. That's why I know what I know, because I think those are rich learning experiences. And if you flip it to, sometimes I might be recording something that is for a YouTube video later, or I'm running something live and people are right there with me. If all of a sudden my daughters are trying to open the front door really quietly, but taking a really long time, that squeak is going on and on and on as they're trying to be super quiet. It just resonates with everybody. We can laugh about it because it just shows you the beauty of live and the real context. It reaches through the camera because, when you have a different energy level and when you take those opportunities of something going wrong, you can just, it's unexpected and you can make things fun as well. So I just, really encourage people to learn from it and then just keep going. Don't let that discourage you from trying again, even if it didn't work out as planned the first time.
Motivate your team on a digital platform.
Yeah, everybody learns differently, and what engages one person to spark that interest and reach through the camera is different from another person. So I really encourage the whole layering it, bring unexpected things like a prop and be ready. You almost need to magnify your energy level and rise it up a little bit. And it's not being fake, but in order to reach through that camera, it's really looking at the camera, which is a different learning curve. As facilitators, we're used to looking in each other's eyes when we're training or in leadership. We want to make that connection. And so it feels so different online, and that's part of the learning curve. For someone else to feel like you're talking to them, you have to look at the camera. And so sometimes you do want to check the body language and look around, but just being conscious and intentional is just a different learning curve. And I would encourage leaders to include their team. There's so much creativity. So whether it's an active activity, icebreaker, warm up, get everybody involved with trying something new. Then they're learning the technology, they're learning different tools and skills, and it takes the pressure off too, to just have a collaborative approach. And I would say too, use the tools like Zoom breakout rooms or pinned chat. Like there's so many different ways that maybe it's the context of so many people, and if it is more intimate, you might get different engagement there too.
Can you teach us a little bit how we can layer that content?
Yeah, thanks for asking about that. I created a YouTube video too if people want additional resources and tips. It's as simple as sometimes just having some music ready behind the scenes, whether like whether you're adding and layering it into a video content creation product or tutorial, or you're doing something live. to add, as I showed, the props and visuals. And so it's a literal layering as well. When you're training about something, people need maybe the key word. You can overlay a PowerPoint slide onto, recording of your presentation. When I was creating the video for the I Rise, it was 15 seconds, but so much goes into even getting creative with something small. And I talked about I vlogged, my feelings on, I felt really weird on purpose falling into the water, and then on camera, in that behind the scenes, actually showing myself getting back on my stand-up paddleboard. It's kind of embarrassing, but I'm doing it intentionally also to be vulnerable and show everybody that anybody can try something new. And I recently reviewed my very first YouTube video. I was so awkward and not confident and comfortable in front of the camera. So we all start where we start, and we can't get to where we want to be unless we just do it and put it out there when it's not perfect.
That is fantastic. Thank you guys so much for joining us today. I'm so much.
Yeah, I learned so much from all of you. Great job.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Guys.
Thanks.
Nice to
Bye.
meet you all for today.
Okay.
Yes. Bye.
Bye.
This last one won't go in. Let me try again. Got it in. Jens, can you come take a look?
Where are you?
You don't find that funny? I was filming.